Sorry to disappoint, but it had to be coffee today. I'm filming a little early in the morning to go after that wine. Otherwise, you know I would. There's a certain time of day where it's okay. Like my California mug, I'm actually heading out to California tomorrow. So that's exciting. Follow me on Instagram if you care to follow along. I want to welcome you back to the Freedom Economy series. If you remember the last episode, which was episode 1 of this series, I talked about how I left my full-time job. Thank you to Spera for sponsoring the Freedom Economy series here at Savvy Sexy Social so I can talk about all this fun stuff. More details about them later. So today we're talking about getting experience when you absolutely have nothing going for you. And trust me, this was a critical detail for me to make a change in my career, as I told you about last time. I wanted to be a marketer, but I didn't go to school for marketing. I wanted to own my own business, but I had zero experience owning a business, nor did I even really know anybody that owned a business. So with all that in mind, I had a whole lot going for me. Passion, mostly. So clearly I needed experience if I was going to be able to go off and make money doing this thing. So I'm gonna go over the 5 keys to helping me get that experience when I didn't have anything. First, hate to break it to you, you're probably gonna have to work for free. As soon as I figured out what I wanted to do and what I needed more experience in, I immediately attacked anybody that I could find that I thought would be a dream client, a portfolio client that definitely needed my help, but probably wasn't going to pay me for it. I went after a local company that had just started, and it was a magazine dedicated to whole foods, farmers markets, sustainable eating, all that kind of fun stuff. Content for days. I found a connection through a connection and I just sent them an email. Hey, I'm Amy. You barely know me. You really don't. But here is what I do, and I really think you need this, and I want to do it for you for free. And I'm gonna knock it out of the park, and you're gonna love it, and it's gonna make your life easier, and you're gonna see benefits from it. I really dove into those benefits in the email. That was the big thing here, because this was a cold email. And really that was the only one I had to send. They said yes, and I got my first client, and they weren't paying me a dime, but it was a really fun project. I was excited to work on it all the time. It was a great way to hone my skills. It was a great way to get experience, and I did get experience. Seriously, one of my favorite clients to this day, even though they really didn't pay me anything. But they were the reason that I was really able to get started and prove to other companies that they should pay me for my work. Also keep in mind that when you do free work, you can still get value in return for it. I'm gonna talk about another way that I made that happen, but one of the biggest ways is that sometimes when you're diving into this freelance world, you don't really know how you wanna charge for your work or how you spend time on it to know how to charge for it properly. So a lot of times this free gig can help give you some direction in that. So keep that in mind. What can you learn from this, in addition to just slapping a name on your portfolio, that's gonna actually help you do better business later by charging the right way that's gonna make you happy. The second thing I did was research the lay of the land. I needed to know anything and everything about the what's and the who's of the social media marketing world. Period. You need to absorb anything you can. People writing blog posts about them, people writing those first books about them. These were things I was easily able to get a hold of, absorb, and learn from. Oh, not to mention videos. But to be fair, the video landscape for this industry was not that good back then. It's probably better for you in some capacity now. In 2016, absorb anything. Podcasts, videos, blog posts, books, read the books. The other thing is just finding out who the mega players are. Who are the big organizations doing this right? Who are the thought leaders in the space? Who are the main speakers being pulled in to talk about this? What do they have going for them? And how do they differentiate themselves? How are you similar? How are you different? How are you special? The third thing I did was, after researching the landscape, I joined it and I staked my little claim on it. Let people know that you have arrived. Start to form opinions about your work and put them into thought leadership pieces of content, such as blog posts or videos. Get your name out there. It doesn't necessarily mean that you want to start a business when you are freelancing and building this thought leadership. You should be doing the same thing if you're trying to get a promising position at a company that you want to work for. Your personal brand in 2016 for landing a job is very important. So get it out there, get your name out there, let people know that you are someone people should be thinking about. Trust me when I say I wanted to start my own business, but the number of job offers that I got simply from Searchworthy on LinkedIn and people discovering my blog and videos and things like that, there were a lot of opportunities I could have taken when I left my full-time job to go work for a company in the area I wanted to be in. So personal branding is a thing, trust me. And number 4, side hustle your face off. I talked a lot about this in the last episode when it came to leaving my full-time job. If I did not use up every extra hour that I had for the most part to do great work and learn this skill set, I would not have been able to leave when I was able to leave. But think of it this way, it's the same reason why people work the really crappy, dirty job, but they go to night school. They have to pick up the skill set sometime. There are only so many hours in the day. This is your night school. Except for you might be able to make money doing it. You need to side hustle your face off. And number 5, by far the biggest, most important thing, however, it wouldn't have happened if all the other things didn't happen, is to meet people. Stop with the excuses. Get out from behind your computer or your apartment or whatever and go meet people. One of those value adds that my free client was able to help me with was when it came time for me to say, I need to go to this conference and learn more about my industry, get in front of the same people that are doing what I'm doing, hear from the thought leaders directly what I should be doing or thinking about that I'm not already doing. I didn't necessarily have a ton of money to pay for this $800 ticket to a conference. I had just enough to maybe travel out there, pay for a hotel, all this kind of stuff. But I thought if I could just have a little bit of a buffer for the educational piece, that would be awesome. I went to my free client and I said, hey, I've been working for you for a little while. Hopefully it's going well. Obviously, I knew it was going well to be able to ask them this, but I said, I really need to get further educated and it would be amazing if you could sponsor me for this conference. And they ended up paying for my conference badge. So think about all the ways you can get value in a situation that may not always be a retainer or hourly fee. I went to that conference, I met a bunch of people, I learned a lot of stuff, I absorbed even more, and it was the people I met at that conference, turns out, and all the other work that I did, that made it possible for me to leave my full-time job. It doesn't matter if it's traveling across the country to go to a conference, go to networking events, just meet people, get the word out about what you are doing now. I totally understand where this can be tough for people who are trying to balance a current position in addition to what their passion project is and hopefully their future. You have to make that decision based on how you feel. But at least go and meet the people so that they are there in your stack of business cards and hopefully your emails soon after to let them know when you're ready that you're making a career change or whatever the case may be. Also, if you just can't leave your house because you're just not ready for that yet, schedule Skype meetings. I love having coffee meetings on Skype. You can meet with anyone, anywhere in the world on Skype, and it can be the same experience. You're seeing each other, you're hearing each other, you're talking directly to each other. There is no reason for you to not make contact with people in your industry or outside of your industry to tell them about what you do. What I love about these one-on-one coffees is pick that person's brain. You don't have to propose it that way. Just when you have them on the call, just say, you know what? I saw you did this and I'd love to hear how you did that. Do your homework on everyone and say, what is the pressing question I want to ask this person? The smartest people who get me on the phone for a half an hour have a very specific agenda of questions that they have so they can learn as much as possible from that other person. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Freedom Economy series. Make sure you give this episode a big thumbs up if it was helpful to you and if you're excited about the next one, which will be all about how to start your side hustle right now. Or at least like right when I publish that episode. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. I need that feedback from you guys. Thanks again to Spera for sponsoring this series and for having an amazing tool that is going to help you improve your freelance work style. Check out the link in the description to go get 30 days for free. That's all for today's socials. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Subscribe for good vibes, and until next time, go out there and get what you want. Cheers.